a world-renowned author. He has books that have been published all over the world. He's been a big help in helping us get the foundation together and getting all these wonderful classes put together and digitized, and so that anybody can go to class anywhere in the world. So we're so grateful for him and all the wonderful things that he's done to help us do that. So if Kurt's in the house, let's go into his millionaire psychology. I believe that's what he's talking about today. And let's go to our next lesson. So Kurt, I'm going to turn time over to you.
Hey, welcome back to Millionaire Psychology number 4. Again, make sure you've done the homework, you've done what you're supposed to be doing. This is a step-by-step process to get you where you need to go to understand millionaires. It's pretty simple. Start thinking, acting, and doing what other millionaires do. Whatever your goal is, that's our focus. That's what we're going to work on. So make sure you revisit the homework, you're doing the homework, and you get ready for number 4. So here's the question of the day. How tall will a tree grow? You thought about that? How tall will a tree grow? And the answer is as tall as it can. There's ways that humans don't do that. They just kind of stagnate. They're not motivated, going through the motions. Here we have this tree will grow as tall as it can. Can you grow as tall as you can? You think about that? That's very, very important. So, success is an open book test. All the answers are there. That's what we're revealing. That's why you're here. Learning, growing, becoming better. That's what it's all about. It's the mental aspect of the game that's the most important and the one we all tend to work on last. That's so important to understand. That's the biggest factor. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, interviewed hundreds, thousands of millionaires to find out what they have in common. Mindset, the way they thought, what they did, that's the key. But again, people, oh, give me the tools, give me the tools, give me the tools. And I'm just saying, these are the tools. So have you ever had a day when you didn't feel like doing the things you know you needed to do to motivate yourself? Every day, what's going on, what's happening, what do we need to do here? This is the key. How do you motivate yourself? How do you stay on that path? We're all going to have days where you're like, I don't feel like it, I don't want to do it. But you understand there's only really 2 motivators in life. Pleasure, pain, reward, punishment. Those are a few of them as we talked about the psychology of motivation. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure out motivation. What motivates others? What motivates myself? And it's really important. I mean, you can go to anybody on the street and say, hey, you want to have better relationships? You want to make more money? You want to be healthier? Well, yeah. And then all of a sudden, what are you doing about it? And you get that blank stare. Or you go to the gym in January versus February. What's going on? What's happening? We have these great intentions. How do you take those intentions, those goals, and turn it into unlimited motivation? Let's talk about it. So that motivation, staying on track. I mean, people want to feel motivated. They feel better about themselves. We have to really address, if someone's going down the wrong road or going up the wrong ladder, we don't want to motivate them to go up the wrong ladder or down the wrong road. So you got to make sure you're on the right path. You got to turn them around. I mean, you could use pleasure, pain, reward, punishment, all those different things. I like to package it this way. I learned this from my early mentor, Jim Rohn, that the only 2 motivators in life are inspiration and desperation. I mean, really, on a rudimentary level, that's it. I mean, we can talk about pleasure, pain, reward, punishment. I like inspiration, desperation. It's interesting. You can motivate anybody with desperation or fear. When your dentist says only floss the teeth you want to keep. That's pure desperation, pure fear. Does it work? Yeah, for the short term. I mean, you can motivate anybody with desperation. I mean, really think about it. If you know any lazy teenagers are laying on the couch, they won't move, they won't do anything, go out in the garage, get a can of gasoline, and light the couch on fire. And wow, I'm seeing some serious motivation here. What's going on? But once the couch has been replaced and you've been arrested, right, they turn back into very lazy people. And that's the key. So desperation works. It's better than nothing, but it's very short term. So how do you motivate yourself on a daily basis? Stay on track. I've heard some people say, well, Motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does a shower, but it's good to take one every day or at least every week. It's still something you need to do. Even if it's temporary, you got to be able to do this. It has to be done every day. What if you didn't take a shower or bath for a week, 2 weeks? It's going to start to show. People are going to start to notice. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's really no such thing as a lazy person, just an uninspired person without goals. They haven't really thought about what they want, or maybe they've given up on what they want, or maybe it's not even what they truly want. And we talked about renting versus owning your goals. Is this something you truly want? What do you love to do? What would you do with your life if you could do anything? What inspires you? What do you want to become? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do with your life? I mean, think about it. If you haven't eaten in a couple days, the thought of food consumes you. What Napoleon Hill calls that burning desire. There's nothing else you can think about. That's what you need to think about your goals. There's nothing else that matters. You are going to achieve this. You are going to do this. For a lot of people, the starting's the easy part. It's the finishing that counts. So keep that hunger alive. Find that ambition, that aspiration. Get out of what I call that desperation cycle. You're like, what's that? Well, you're like, oh, wow, doctor says I need to lose weight, and you do it out of desperation, out of fear. And then you lose a few pounds, you get back to your comfort zone, and then you're okay. Uh-oh, a few more pounds, desperation, right? And just get close enough to quit. Lose that motivation, that cycle is like, oh, I blew it here. Desperation, fix it. Okay. Just like if you were going to a reunion, a high school reunion, whatever it is. Oh, pants don't fit, dress doesn't fit, panic. Just enough to get into that dress, into those pants, into that suit. And then once the high school reunion's over, you go back to your standard behavior. So how do we get into that motivation so you don't fall back into these old habits? Into that comfort zone. We're looking at this comfort zone. We're looking at that and like, this is interesting. We love our comfort zone. It's warm. We have comfy socks on. We have a blanket. It's nice. We don't need to change. We don't need to do much. But you can't be happy in your comfort zone. The human body, the human brain, the human existence needs to grow and thrive every day. We know when you learn and grow every day, you become more optimistic, more enthusiastic about where you're going, what you're going to accomplish. But if you don't learn and grow every day, get stuck in this comfort zone, then bad things happen. You're not happy. You want to expand yourself. You want to grow. You want to get better. That's the human condition. That is what we want. Have you heard this before? Talking about a tree growing. You love that comfort zone. You're very comfortable. Things are good, but nothing grows in the comfort zone. That's reality, the non-sugar-coated version. That's just how it is. That's the reality of life. So how tall is the tree going to grow? As tall as it can. So let's talk about this, map this out, take some good notes here. So we have this desperation cycle we talked about, this comfort zone. We get stuck there. Again, it's warm. We feel good. We don't have to stretch ourselves, but you can't really achieve true happiness there. I mean, if you really want to take a look at this, look at the word motivation. It comes from the word motive. What is your motive? What are you trying to achieve? What are the reasons for you to do the things you know you need to do? See, this motivation moves you to action. You have to have good reason. That's long-term motivation, not the temporary action, just going through the motions. I'm talking about long-term motivation. You don't have to have a shocking event to kick off motivation. I mean, it helps sometimes when your doctor says, do this or die, or your dentist or whoever it is. I mean, you can wait for the pain to change, to be better, to improve, or you can take action now. So this motivation can be something external, an external force or internal motivation that impels us to take action or refrain from doing certain things. We just have to get past the point where I don't want to make any mistakes. You're going through the emotions. You're not making any changes. You're in that comfort zone. That's the challenge. We got to get past that to learn, to grow, to become better. That's the key. We got to get past this neglect, putting it off. Neglect tends to compile, tends to compound. Remember, we've talked about you didn't gain that extra 30, 40 pounds overnight, didn't get deep in debt overnight. For the most part, it accumulates. We have to take action. So let's map this out. Motivation. I spent years trying to figure this one out, but this is what I've come up with. You can use this to motivate others, motivate yourself. Let's talk about you and your motivation, doing the things you know you want to do. So remember the two motivation lights. There's either inspiration. That's when you're moving towards something. You're excited about getting there. There's desperation. You're moving away from something. Something's bothering you. You don't like it. And those can be either internal or external. And this will be critical to help you motivate yourself every day. So let's start with the most short-term motivation, but again, better than nothing motivation, fear. External things giving you desperation. Let's take your present job, for example. Most heart attacks happen Monday morning. We don't need to go into that, but think about that a little bit. It's Monday morning, you don't want to go to work, but what external things will give you desperation or fear to go to work? Oh, I don't want to get fired. I want to lose my job. I don't want to live in a tent. I don't want to eat dog food. I don't want to, right? That desperation gets you to go to work. Not a very good motivator, but better than nothing. Then we have internal desperation, going from short-term to long-term, which is duty or obligation. You don't want to go to work, but internally, desperation, obligation, you're thinking, they've been good to me. They do pay the bills. I've been there for a while. They take good care of me. They help my family do this. They're counting on me. I need to do this. That obligation, not the best motivation, but does motivate you to go to work. Then we have external inspiration, love, respect. You love your coworkers. They're counting on you. You need to do it. Maybe it's love for your kids. Send them to the best schools to provide for them. Respect for your coworkers, whatever it is. Those external things get you to go to work. The best, most longest term? Passion. Internal inspiration. You love what you're doing. You're changing the world. The alarm clock to wake yourself in the morning. That is the key. That's what you're working on. So we ask yourself, this is going to be part of your homework, is which one should you use? And the answer is yes. I would love if you lived in passion all day long, but that's just really not possible as humans. Just find the ones that work for you. It's going to be different every day. That's the key to understand human motivation, your motivation. Hey, if it's fear, it works, it's temporary, that's better than not doing anything. Again, I want you to spend more time in inspiration, but if desperation is the Kickstarter, things that get things rolling, I am okay with that. So how do we find inspiration? Find the reasons that inspire you to improve yourselves. Find your purpose, find your passion. When you use inspiration to motivate you, there's some logic behind it, but that's the driver, that's the key. This is your purpose, your passion, your reason. That is the key to your success. So what are you passionate about? What do you love? What is your purpose? What is your passion? I love what Martin Luther King said. If a man hasn't discovered something he will die for, he isn't fit to live. Might be a little extreme. I might be putting it out there, but hey, think about it. What are you passionate about? What is your purpose? If Weird Uncle Frank, every family has one, passed away, left you $10 million in the bank, right? Gave you $10 million. You've had all your plastic surgery. You've seen the world. What would you do with your life? I could tap into your purpose and your passion. Walking on the beach, see a lamp. You rub it like you're supposed to. Genie appears. It's a one-wish genie with conditions. Says, look, you get to change one thing in the world. So here's the question. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be? In your community, in your country, in the world, what would you change? Write your eulogy. How do you want to be remembered in this life? And here's another one. If you were guaranteed success, if you knew you would not fail, what would you do with your life? I don't expect an answer now, but start thinking as you start sculpting, getting closer. A lot of times with passion, we try something out we think we're passionate about, not so much. And that's okay. As long as you're getting closer, sculpting, getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. And here's where we need to pivot. Some people are net people. Some people are nudge people when you talk about motivation and achieving your goals. Okay, what does that mean? The first one, some people, is jump and the net will appear. Right? We talk about how tall that tree is going to grow. Jump and the net will appear. Meaning cold turkey, let's just go, let's just do it. People want to jump in the cold water. That's okay. If that's your style, go for it. Do it. Make it happen. Now, the other part is the nudge people. The Chinese proverb that says a man who removes a mountain begins carrying away small stones. They want to start slow and simple, a little bit at a time, right? If you want to start exercising every morning, the jump people, the net people are like, boom, I'm running 30, 60 minutes a day. They just start. The nudge people are like, all right, this week I'm putting on my exercise clothes. All right, this week I'm doing 5 push-ups. All right, they start a little bit. I don't care what you do as long as you're in progress of achieving your goals. That's the key. That's what we're doing. That's what we're focusing on. That's what we want to do to make it happen. So let's talk about your homework. Yes, homework. This is the key. So map it out. What is your inspiration towards your goals? What is your desperation? Hey, some days that's all you have is the desperation. Hey, that's better than nothing. Go with the desperation. Go with the fear. You're doing it because you have to. I'm okay with that. Hopefully, as you grow in this process, you spend more days in inspiration. But at least identify the inspiration and desperation. If you really want to take it to the next level, do all 4 quadrants. That's the key. That's what you need to have, because people will spit on your dreams. People will pull you down. Aunt Edna will suck the life out of you. Remember we talked about Aunt Edna? She's that family member that you sit next to her at a gathering and she sucks the life out of you. I mean, don't even talk to her and she sucks the life out of you. That is what we're looking for. But you have to have that internal, intrinsic motivation to make a difference. That's the key. Because life will suck the life out of you. Your family and friends might suck the life out of you. Let me share an experience with you. So I'm in a family gathering, right? You know, you're hoping these are the people that support you and love you the most. Not always the case. I mean, sometimes it happens. You'll find some family and friends that'll support you. So family gathering, right? You know, Kurt, what are your goals? What are you doing next? What are you working on? I'm like, you know what? I think I want to become a best-selling author. Wow, incoming. Well, you're not good at English. What about this? And it's so hard, and you can't do this, and you've never done this. What about this failure? What about that failure? Right? They bring it all up. That's what they do. And if you don't have your motivation plan in place, you'll stop dead in your tracks. I mean, I told them what I wanted. They're spitting on my dreams, pulling me down, tell me why I can't do it, why it won't work, why it's so hard. I'm like, no, this is what I want to do. You know, and becoming a best-selling author takes time. It does. And every subsequent family gathering is a, hey, best-selling author, how are you doing? Hey, how's your published book? All of those go into place. You're like, really? And they just keep spitting on your dreams, jabbing you a little bit. And that's the challenge. People do that. Well, let me just tell you the end of the story. Fast forward, I did become a best-selling author. Didn't get too many calls that says, hey, congratulations. It's just kind of sat with there. Let me just say, success is your best revenge. When people pull you down, suck the life out of you, just say, look, watch me. That's the key. Right? People will spit on your dreams either because they don't believe in you or they've given up on their dreams, but it doesn't matter. You follow your dreams, stay motivated. That's what makes the biggest difference. So stay on track, do your homework, take these courses to become better, help other people become better, and go out and make the world a better place.
Thanks, Kurt. Love what he does and how he teaches these things. And again, this is huge. You got to start here. It's all up here. That's the big part. You got to have a why. Why are you doing this? And if you have a big enough why, you will figure out the how. The how is easy. Getting that motivation to go through the pain. You know, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And because it's hard, that's what makes it great. So have fun with the game. It's just a game, and games are fun. Thanks, Kurt. We're going to be